With us on set is Gregory Zeller. He is there for his second stint at the Long Island Business News, and he followed in the footsteps of John Komanicki. We'd like to welcome him to the show. He's currently the editor there. Gregory Zeller, how are you?
I'm great, Donna. How you doing?
Good, good. So you used to work at Long Island Business News.
Yeah, this is actually my second time there.
Okay.
And on and off for the past 8 years, which is a unique view of Long Island and the Long Island economy, I'll tell you. A lot of fun.
So you've been able to watch the paper grow.
Well, grow is a relative term.
Okay.
I've been able to watch the paper survive the Great Recession, which is growing in a way. It certainly has redefined itself, not only because of the recession, but because that's what publications do from time to time. You enter a new century and you have to find a new way of doing things and serving modern audiences, and we've been trying to do that, both print and digitally.
Yeah, you said there's a new digital focus.
There is.
How is that around there?
Well, the paper's been around for 60 years, and obviously the internet's been around for about 20. So, and the internet has completely changed the playing field when it comes to publications like ours. We still have our print product, comes out every Friday, but I would say these days it's more of a supplement to the website. The website is our daily newspaper for all intents and purposes. That's where we put our breaking news. That's where we put the bulk of what our reporters do on a daily basis. The print product is more of a long view, deeper analytical look at certain sectors, and they play nicely with each other. But I would definitely have to say that in the last year especially, we have shifted our focus to digital first. That's the future of the publishing industry. That's where our readers are going. And if we don't follow, they're going to just leave us behind. You know, when people hear about news or they want to know something, they're not waiting for the paper to come out on Friday. They're going to the internet and they're checking it, and they want to know right now. And if we're not there to provide it, they'll just go look somewhere else. Although we do have an advantage in that regard, because we are really the only publication that does what we do. There is, of course, daily newspapers that cover Long Island, but they don't have the time or the resources to cover the Long Island economy the way we do. We're really the only game in town with that. So if people want to know what's going on with businesses, real estate transactions, finance, small business financing, these sorts of issues, hopefully they're going to look to us first, and they're going to first look to the internet. So we need to be ready there.
And I think the fact that you do offer a more in-depth look is very important, because you are the only ones that are telling those stories. And in addition, the quality of your paper is so nice. You know, like I have a graphic art and design background, so like the paper stock is important to me, the saturation of color is important to me.
Yes.
You're putting out a quality product.
Well, we have an excellent, thank you for noticing.
You're welcome.
We have an excellent printer, and we have an excellent graphic design team. And they share my vision on how things should look. One of the things, we just completed a print redesign.
Okay.
In addition to redesigning the website, this all happened, we pulled the trigger last February. And one of the things we did, this sort of played into our new focus on digital. The digital redesign of the website, we're part of a big corporation based in Minneapolis. They have 15 papers, whatever number it is, around the country, and all of the papers got new websites. We decided that we would also upgrade the print product at the same time to coincide with that. And one of the things I wanted to do was provide more information in the same amount of space. So how do we do that? Not necessarily by writing more stories. In our case, we did it with new graphic elements. We have charts. We have a lot of color. Somebody told me that it kind of looks a little bit like a comic book these days, to which I replied, thank you very much, because I find that to be colorful and engaging, and sort of what I like to call short attention span theater. It's quick hits for people to look at something, get a piece of information that they can possibly use, and move on to the next thing. Now, at the same time, we're still providing the in-depth stories, the background, story behind the story type stuff, more magazine style, but also numbers, graphs, charts, good art. We have an excellent photographer, and then, as I said, we have an excellent graphic design department that pays attention to how the thing looks. You know, what we do can be pretty boring. I mean, it's a lot of economy, numbers. You know, it's not always really the most exciting stuff. Anything we can do to make it more engaging and audience friendly, we're gonna try it. And the new look definitely reflects that, I think.
Well, you yourself are an award-winning writer. Okay,
Yes.
and I also think that the wordsmith that you are is that you can tell more with less.
Well, that's the mark of any great writer. starting with my hero, Ernest Hemingway. He was all about the economy of words. It's saying the most with less, and with the fewest words. And one of the things I always tell, especially the young reporters who come work for me, and this is something they don't teach you necessarily in school, there is a certain style when it comes to writing news articles, and certainly the sort of analytical type stuff that we do. There's a certain guideline you have to follow, but within that guideline, there's plenty of room to be creative. It's not that this style should limit your creativity. The challenge, and I consider writers, even newspaper writers, to be artists. Mm-hmm. The challenge with this art is to do it fancy within the parameters of the guidelines that are set. Putting the meat before the salad. You introduce the story concept. You introduce concepts. You have people who sort of go against it. You find the inner conflict, and then you wrap it up. What I tell the young reporters is, if you can take 1 or 2 words out of every sentence, and if you can take 10 or 12 words out of every paragraph, and 100 or 120 words out of every story, you increase by 1,000% the chance that somebody who starts reading your story will finish it. And that's really the goal, is you want them to read your entire piece. If you're too wordy, if you go on and on, you're going to lose them. Just like I'm doing right now by babbling. So.
No, not at all. In fact, you know, one of the things that I love about having our television show is that it also is a resource for people. People learn from Live It Up, you know, so that was very valuable what you shared, because people watch and they'll be like, oh, that makes sense.
Plus, you can edit it down.
No, plus even you're the editor. I like the longer, in-depth kind of stuff. And talking about your writing style, you are an author. In fact, I have one of your books on my shelf.
I know.
Did you notice?
That's awesome. Well, you told me.
I'm proud of having it.
That's like super cool. Yes, I've written a couple of novels called Quantum Makers and Quantum Makers Flashback. It's going to be a trilogy, because everything has to be a trilogy. The third one will be coming out as soon as I finish it, hopefully within the next 6 months. They are science fiction books, heavy on the science. They're actually based on something going on at Brookhaven National Laboratory, where they have the relativistic heavy ion collider, which is this ion collider that I won't get into too much detail. It basically creates matter and energy that only existed in the seconds after the Big Bang. And they fire this thing up every now and then a bunch of scientists from around the world come and study the results
and
of
watch
projects.
it. Watch the essence of what's made. I'm turning around, my crew's going to be like, what the heck is she doing? But it was so handy, I just wanted to grab it. So
there it is. Oh, that's actually the second one.
Right, this is the second one.
Right.
So, yep. So this is Quantum.
Quantum Makers.
Yeah.
That one's called Flashback. The third one will be Quantum Makers: The Last Earth. That's coming soon to a bookshelf on the Donna Drake Show. And
you can actually tell that I actually read your book. Do you see how the pages have actually been?
Oh, look at that!
I read it.
They're all dog-eared.
I read it.
Oh, well, thank you. Well, what'd you think?
I liked it. I like your work very much.
Thank you.
It's very entertaining. You're a very visual writer, so I recommend this book highly. Yeah, it's fantastic to have you on. I like you. You're smart, and you do a lot of good things for the Long Island Business News and for our community.
Thank you very much. The Long Island economy is very important, and somebody needs to pay attention to it. There's a lot of people that live here and they rely on that economy even if they don't realize it. And where it goes and how it gets there is critical.
Thank you. Nice to have you here.
Thank you.
Please stay tuned for more on Live It Up. We've been visiting with Gregory Zeller.